Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Perspective. We'll be talking about the session today as the Punjab Assembly session, oath-taking ceremony. We saw, of course, Maryum Nawaz also take oath today as an MP, which, of course, is the first step to her taking oath as CM Punjab, which will follow. And we are going to be talking about what is going to be, which direction she intends to steer Punjab, what are going to be her main policies as far as Punjab is concerned, and of course the footsteps that she is going to follow in as far as her father is concerned, as far as her uncle is concerned, and of course the new direction that she will set as Chief Minister Punjab when she is sworn in, of course. A little later on, we'll also be talking about the former Commissioner Rawalpindi and his allegations and his retraction, of course, that has followed, and what it means for overall as far as our political process is concerned, as far as these allegations that are leveled against political parties, of course against people like the Chief Justice of the country without any proof, and then of course they're shown on the media, the sensationalism of it and what it means, and also of course a letter to the IMF that a certain political party leadership is talking about and what it can mean for Pakistan and of course its economic situation and the potential ramifications of it. All of that today on Perspective. We have with us Daniyal Sheikh, who is a political analyst, Dr. Niaz Murtaza, who is also a senior analyst, Javed Jadoon, who is a political analyst, and Zahid Gishkori Saab, who is a senior journalist. But of course, she is the nominated candidate for the PMLN, and I'm going to correct myself in that sense. And of course, she has taken oath as an MPA at this time, member of the Provincial Assembly. But of course, we know that she is going to be the CM for all intents and purposes.
That too, and it's beyond a reasonable doubt, we can say that she commands the confidence of the majority of the members. So definitely you can, although she's officially not the chief executive, she takes oath and she's notified. But coming back to what I was saying earlier, once you asked me about women empowerment in Pakistan, and today I believe that the way things unfolded, the transition, and I said it's a process of evolution, it's going to take time. So PMLN definitely, and this whole development has proved the pace that I thought it's going to take. And the development is it happened much faster. And it's definitely not just for Pakistan, but for the entire Muslim Ummah. It's a turning point, especially for those countries or those individuals who blame Islam to be some kind of a religion that does not empower women. So it's gonna, a lot of stereotypes and even like a lot of misconceptions that Western societies had about us, it's definitely going to put up a very positive image. And I think it's a very good development. And as far as Maryum Nawaz is concerned, her father was chief minister, like you were saying earlier, and often when we meet those old politicians who worked with her father when he was chief minister of Punjab in 1985, they still remember that time in Punjab to be as the golden era, the era of development and the era of public uplift. So I'm sure she's going to follow the same legacy. She's got a lot of burden on her shoulders to keep up. Then her uncle, who was also a very proactive chief minister, and he was able to foresee the future and the way he built the infrastructure in Punjab and other things, and the way his focus was on law and order, all these things. She's definitely, she has very good guidance, and I'm quite optimistic.
Niaz Saab, can you hear me? Niaz Saab, there is, in the sense that she has a legacy. We're talking about the fact that she has tough shoes, so to speak, to fill, in the sense that, of course, we saw earlier on, of course, her father was chief minister, but we very recently also saw Shehbaz Sharif Saab as chief minister Punjab, and he has a reputation as a go-getter, as getting things done in Punjab, so to speak. So obviously, in that sense, she is going to be looking at all of those shoes to fill, and of course, do more. How do you look at this development? Niaz Saab? Ji, can you hear me? Javed Saab, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Javed Saab, the same question to you. You think that, this is, of course, as a woman, I think that, it's particularly, empowering, and I think it's a welcome thing for all women to see her lead the largest province of Pakistan once she takes oath on overall. But in terms of the kind of shoes she has to fill, and of course the kind of climate there is politically at this time, those are also important realities for Pakistan and also the PMLN at this time?
Thank you very much, Mahrukh. Indeed, it is a first in Pakistan that female chief minister of the largest province in Pakistan, the Punjab, which has more than 50% of the total population of the country. But it is going to be a huge and a massive challenge for her as well, because as you pointed out, go-getter, these are very different times we are living in. It's not a question of being able to do what you want to do. There are so many constraints. For example, would try to list a few of them, which she is going to face right away when she takes oath and becomes the chief executive of the province. Mahrukh, about 40% of the children below the age of 5 are stunted. 26 million children, I mean, including Punjab, across Pakistan, are out of school. Poverty level is more than 40%. Pakistan has to negotiate another a program with the International Monetary Fund, because the $3 billion standby agreement is going to expire in March, and we have to get into another program in April. There's no other option for Pakistan. And as far as inflation is concerned, it is at the historic level, hovering around 30%. These are the challenges.
Zahid Saab, can you hear me?
Yes, Mahrukh.
Zahid Saab, we're talking about Maryum Nawaz taking oath as an MPA today in Punjab Assembly, and of course, you know, her next step is going to be taking oath as Chief Minister. All the modalities, of course, will happen. All of that, and you know that and its ramifications for PMLN and also for Pakistan at this time and Punjab particularly.
Yes, of course. It's obviously a historic moment for Pakistan politics, and I can still remember that in 1988, Benazir Bhutto was the first Pakistan, and even from Muslim Ummah, was the first Prime Minister. And now the Pakistan largest province is all set to witness the first female Chief Minister. Of course, it's a challenging for the political lady who has fortunately inheritance and inherited it all from her father and her uncle, and of course for her cousin as well, the fourth member from the Sharif family, who is going to become Chief Minister of Punjab. And the first of all, it's a signal for the women empowerment and her team. We have shown on TV screen as well, and challenging job indeed as well. But certainly, as a political perspective, new challenge for Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, which is trying to regain its power in the largest province of Pakistan, and Maryum Nawaz, in a sense, as he becomes the first ever now member of parliament, and Nawaz Sharif would be looking after province affairs under his supervision. He would be operating as chief minister, and still we have to see that who are a part of our team in the province, because the momentum Shehbaz Sharif left in 2018 in the province, we haven't seen yet that the province has yet to take the new start when it comes to development in the province and to lead, and Shehbaz be challenge for Maryum Nawaz Sharif. It's a very new as a parliamentary credentials, the first time Maryum Nawaz is entering into the parliament with new parliament experience and parliamentary credentials would be speaking itself. Either she would be meeting up live up the expectations of the people of Punjab and here in the center as well. So it's a very interesting
aspiring
situation.
Of course, you know what she has. Of course, she's also been very active in politics for a while now. She also led, you know, PMLN through a difficult time. So for her now, of course, you know, this is going to define her own leadership also. How she will choose to lead as, you know, this CM, as, you know, what will be her legacy, and, you know, what steps or what kind of trends she will choose to follow, set by those of her elders. So, I mean, those are both two defining things that will determine how she will conduct herself. Of course, she's also indicated certain areas which she's saying are going to be her focus, right?
I think the day before yesterday, I was talking to Maryum Nawaz Sharif. Obviously, the politics she has been doing in the past 5 years when the party was in a testing time, Nawaz Sharif was out of country, and she was mobilizing and engaging party workers from 2019, 20, 21. In the past 5 years, she mobilized workers in the Punjab, and that's why this is the reason that party now is in a position to form the government in the center with the help of Pakistan People's Party and the simple majority in the province of Punjab. So credit goes to Maryum Nawaz, no doubt, because she was helping out her uncle Shehbaz Sharif, and Hamza Shehbaz was also, also carrying out party affairs in the province. So she continues to mobilize workers with these all challenges, and she understands the challenge and the stumbling blocks and Herculean task she is going to face as the chief minister of this province. So I think it's a challenging job, not easy task, but we have to see that either her team, her father, and the government in the center, how would she be managing everything to bring up the province as a lead province with other provinces as well, because in the past 2 consecutive governments, the Pakistan People's Party also tried to deliver very vehemently in the Sindh. It's the 3rd time that Pakistan People's Party is going to form the government in the province, and the 3rd time for Sharif as well that they are going to run the province. So it's a very interesting situation for her and for her party as well. I see the survival of her party to continue the stronghold in the center and the stronghold of Upper Punjab, the whole Punjab for the upcoming elections, even for the survival for her own party is for Maryum Nawaz to deliver. It's time, but like now or never. Otherwise, the party would be in a difficult situation, as the party is not yielding the numbers it was expecting before the general election. We were discussing at your program so many times. The expectations were not met as they wanted. And this is perhaps the only reason that Nawaz Sharif could not become the Prime Minister. Because there were no simple majority even, and party was expecting more than 110 seats. They could not gain what exactly the expected for. And this is the reason
let me go to Niaz Sahab, and then I'll come back to you. Niaz Sahab, there is, also it's a reality that at this time it's also going to be a time of rejuvenation, revitalization of the PMLN as a political party. And of course, they are choosing, with Shehbaz Sharif Sahab in the center, she's choosing to retain, continue to focus on Punjab in particular, which has always been the foothold for PMLN. So, at this time, it's going to be a challenging task for anyone that she's taken up as, to head Punjab at this time.
Yeah, I mean, she's stepping in a very challenging environment. Obviously, she's the 4th person in her family, so she just has the connection, the resources that the Sharif family has. And her father and uncle are recognized as successful chief ministers. But what we need to recognize is that this is a very different era. The model that the Sharif family had implemented in Punjab of large-scale implementation of infrastructure programs, closely knit family structures, and so on. The population in Punjab, the youth bulge, the new generation that has come up is looking for a different, governance model now, partly whipped up by, the social media work of PTI, the way it's mobilized the youth and so on, and made all those promises. And then there is the fact that, you have such high inflation and very limited resources with the government to, address that. So this is going to be her big challenge. She has to introduce a new governance model that takes some of the pluses of the previous one, but then also brings the governance model into the 21st century. So yeah, there is her gender, then there is also the fact that her youth, relative youth, and the fact that she's supposed to be a bit more liberal and socially more active. So those do give her some advantages, but then it's such a challenging situation. It will really test her whether she can come up with something very different to win back Punjab, something which the family, the party had taken for granted for the last 3 or 4 decades. It's no longer their monopoly over the province. It's fast slipping out of their hand. So can she come to terms with that fact and introduce a new governance model which is not just built on large scale.
Daniyal, do you agree with what Niaz is saying? He's saying that there perhaps is a need for a new governance model that has to adapt perhaps the old and the new, and to take that forward also for the PMLN.
Definitely there is, and like we were discussing her father's times, I was just recalling this historical fact that when he became CM, it was a non-party based election. There were no parties. And from that time, through his governance, he managed to, whatever structure within the party he built. And the first vote of confidence that Nawaz Sharif took from the Punjab Assembly, he had a lead of only 1 member. So he also had a very difficult time, but obviously the dynamics have changed, and it's going to be very challenging how she's going to engage with the other members of parliament, how she's going to, through them, she's going to engage with the people, the policies she's going to make, what trickle-down effect are they going to have on the people. And especially because Punjab is also the agriculture base of Pakistan. So I think she'll have to look into, rethink the policies of the previous government and change them and make it a more agro-friendly country. Again, the way it was during the Nawaz Sharif's first tenure. And some of the, even her uncle's time, if I remember, and I was very, very pro, like before him, there used to be this tax that the provincial government used to collect from the cattle markets. Shahbaz Sharif came and finished it all across Punjab, which was a revolutionary step. So similarly, she's also got a lot of things on, a lot of stuff on her plate to deal with, and with her father's guidance. And but yes, the way you were saying, now the time has come that she has to step in her own shoes, and now people will not know her as Nawaz Sharif's daughter, rather they'll know her as Chief Minister of Punjab. So it's definitely
because she has, of course, there is, even now that we are discussing this, I think Niaz Sahab said, and I think Zahid Sahab also, we talk about the fact that the same family, and that is also something that she carries. So where that maybe people might see it as an advantage, or it also has its own connotations in terms of the fact that she has to now build her own destiny. She has to build her own, and I think that's a big burden for her to carry in that sense. That of course it has its good points, but it's also going to be, she has to rise above that. She has to rise above that the fact that she is, of course, Nawaz Sharif Sahab's daughter, which is something that she will always be for the PMLN, because he is recognized as the supremo and the leader. But for her to be the chief minister, she's going to make her own hallmarks, she's going to make her own trademarks, she's going to make her own decisions and be her own leader in that regard.
Absolutely, and like some of it might think of it as an advantage, but I personally feel that being a son or a daughter of a successful father or a successful mother, it's more difficult, and it brings because to begin with the expectations that people have, and if you're not able to deliver to them, your whole aura falls like a house of cards. So it's a very difficult situation. And like I was saying, Nawaz Sharif, it was his term as CM Punjab that gave him 2/3 majority in the center. So for her too, she will definitely have to do something, if not better, but at least of the same mark. And the way
And
Dr.
Shehbaz Sharif Sahab was also known as a chief minister who was a taskmaster, hard taskmaster, and he was even, has a reputation. I think Zahid Sahab,
even our Chinese friends used to say Shehbaz Sharif speed,
yes, his speed, and also he was known for getting things done.
Absolutely.
As chief minister. And the fact that he was always and meeting deadlines, and also his own MPs would always say that he was a hard taskmaster who expected the very best from them. So of course she has all of that behind her, and then what she will herself choose to bring to the table. Ji Zahid Sahab.
Mahrukh, it is a very interesting situation, and the challenging task now being given by the party to Maryum Nawaz Sharif. We have been interacting with her as a journalist in the past 6 to 7 years. And in the past 7 months, she was getting prepared and emerging as a dominating candidate to lead the province. She has had her mind already, and she prepared the task, and she delivered a speech the day before yesterday where she gave her mind that what exactly she wanted to do in the province, as my colleague panelists were discussing about the agriculture reforms and the industrial reforms in the province of Punjab, as Shehbaz Sharif has been doing. And Shehbaz Sharif introduced 58 bigger developing authorities which changed the province with a new bureaucratic regime and executing the task, engaging different countries, companies like Turkish companies, like engaging Chinese companies, and changing Lahore with the new developing model, which was later on they tried to execute and implement, and even the other province also got the idea, like Sindh in Karachi, the metro train and the green lines, and even in Peshawar by Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. The idea was, of course, taken from Punjab. It was taking lead as a pioneer, and it was popular at one stage of time that Shehbaz Sharif was making headlines and getting popularity even in China. In 2017 and 16 and 15, we have witnessed it all. And everything, what happened from 2008 to 2018, Maryum Nawaz Sharif tried to review it all to get prepared herself that how would be she leading the province. And she's otherwise lucky, because Nawaz Sharif is, as my information suggests, that she would be getting every guidance from Nawaz Sharif, who is sitting in Lahore, and he's not focusing in the center. Shehbaz Sharif would be leading with the help of Pakistan People's Party, which also is the major beneficiary of the system here in the province of Sindh, in Balochistan, and in the center, and some key constitutional posts as well, even the President of Pakistan. So far, they finalized the government formation here in the center. So interesting, but not easy. It's not a very easy or plain sailing task, and the stage approaches for Maryum Nawaz Sharif. But Punjab is a very difficult province as a lead province as well, and every political party focus on the Punjab, because Punjab played vital role to form the government in the center, and people always played a decisive role. And the division, and the one addition to the province this time is one political party, is IPP, and Pakistan People's Party also get extra benefit from the province as well, first time. IPP and PMLQ as well. And she has little edge as compared to the previous regime, because the independent candidates are strong enough, but she might not have a challenge as the challenge of Hamza Shehbaz Sharif government was having at that time when the PTM government came to power, and the Chaudhry Pervez Ilahi also in the past. And the important thing is that how Usman Buzdar delivered in the past 3.5 years, and after that, Pervez Ilahi tried to deliver in the province. So there is a gap of development projects. There is a gap of different ongoing projects with the bureaucracy of Pakistan, Punjab development programs, particularly focusing on district development program, is started by Shehbaz Sharif by spending more than 1,300 billion rupees in 5 years. It's very interesting for the province to uplift its 17 underdeveloped districts like many districts in South Punjab, in Dera Ghazi Khan, Muzaffargarh.
Indicated, of course, health is something that she wants to concentrate on. She's also laid down the fact that corruption, of course, is a red line for her. All of those things she's now, before, even when speaking to her own party members, those are some of the things that she said. Niaz Sahab, there's also, a presence as far as the PTI affiliated independents under the Sunni Ittihad Council is concerned within. And that is also going to be a challenge in the sense that that's going to be, the kind of opposition that we expect from, we've seen PTI overall. And, that's also going to prove challenging in your opinion?
I mean, just look at her challenges. First of all, the back-breaking inflation of about 30 to 40%. Then the second thing is that, Punjab hasn't had stable governance since 2018. There was the 16 months of extreme acrimony, and before that there was the bizarre era. So people are looking for stable governance. People are looking for, immediate relief from the inflation, and obviously there'll be a very, very active, very aggressive kind of, opposition, which will, come and shout at the top of their heads if the relief is not given. It will point out all the flaws. So those are, her challenges. And so what she needs to do is, as I was saying, to come up with a new form of governance, which is not so reliant on heavy infrastructure, because there's no money for that. She really needs to connect with the youth. She really needs to, emphasize local governance. She has to emphasize, the deprivation of the South Punjab. And she has to come up with ideas which will give quick relief to people for the inflation. So one thing is to have, a team that can go with her if she's going to have all the old faces, which she may herself not be very comfortable with, to have, the previous generation. She would like a team of her own age, which, looks up towards her as a leader. So have new people instead of, the same old people who were in the previous cabinets of PMLN, people who can come up with new ideas, social media, internet, give people a sense of ownership, participation in governance, emphasize local governance, get youth excited that, PMLN also has something to give to the youth beyond what PTI does. Because, I think what the changes have happened in Punjab are also a lot to do with the fact that PMLN has not connected with the youth, the up and emerging middle class youth. So it's her challenge to, see what they want and try to come up with, smaller ticket projects which will appeal to them and at the same time give relief to the people. Punjab has a large budget. She has to tap extra sources of revenue, find new sources of, taxation, and start giving relief to people, start doing smaller projects that can get the youth involved, and show that, PMLN is ready to step into the 21st century and rule in a different way now.
I want to move on and talk about, Daniyal, about what happened as far as the Commissioner Saab, who resigned recently, Commissioner of Rawalpindi, and the allegations, of course, that we all saw, and then the retraction of those allegations. How are you looking at this? Of course, the allegations were made also without proof, and now that we've seen the retraction, that seems to, corroborate the fact that he just, that there's no basis of it. How do you overall look at it?
If you would allow me to rephrase the word retraction with a U-turn, so that the masses can understand where he was coming from and where he was heading. And before just discussing this, I was so shocked and amazed. In Pindi division, it's he claimed that he built 4 gymkhanas. Now, in the country's current scenario, current economic situation, what monetary gains can Pakistan or what masses would benefit from a gym khana? And he's taking pride in that, and he's like, I worked 16 hours. So at that point I realized that this person is not a sane person. He's taking pride in wasting public money. And as far as his U-turn was concerned, even before his U-turn, he was very confused in his press conference. And if we are to believe his allegations, so he basically he was under oath that he's going to obey all lawful orders of his superiors. So when, if hypothetical scenario, if he was given an unlawful order, so the investigation needs to start from him, that why did he obey it? So I don't believe that there's any sort of, and then the people working under him have already given statements. So I think it's irrelevant, and since he was retiring in a few days, so it was his, I think his opportunity to get some fame.
Javed Saab, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, I can.
Javed Saab, you know, one thing, of course, we've seen the retraction come from Commissioner Saab, but the question is, what does this show us at this time? In terms of the fact that, you know, of course, we saw him level allegations against the Chief Justice also. Overall, you know, the way that this, you know, the kind of airtime, of course, these things invariably get. And then, of course, the media really has, in that sense, no choice. I mean, not to cover it, to you know, to show it on your screens, not show it, and, you know, whether to find out whether it has any you know, evidence to it, and then what it contributes to the overall, you know, political fabric of the country, the overall polarization, all of that. How do you look at it?
Mahrukh, this is a very serious issue. The allegations leveled against the Election Commission of Pakistan, and even the cops' aspersions on the Chief Justice of Pakistan, I think it must be approved and must be investigated. He said what he said, and then he retracted his statement. And what we know is that he said that, well, it was some kind of a conspiracy, and some leaders of a particular political party, they told him that he would be appointed at an important position when he comes into power. But I still believe that it has complicated the situation more. There is less clarity and more paradoxical situation. It should be probed and investigated at an appropriate level, maybe Judicial Commission, because the allegations level were against the fairness of the elections and transparency of the elections, general elections as well. And already the water has been muddied with allegations coming from Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf and other parties as well. Even those parties who were part of the PDM government, even they started raising objections over the fairness of the electoral exercise, and a very strange silence on part of the Election Commission of Pakistan. They should have been forthcoming, and they should have clarified the situation. Would have been at the center stage to tell the people of Pakistan the exact situation. Now I believe that should be investigated, mustn't be put under the carpet, and labeling the person as an insane person would be the oversimplification of the whole situation, because a commissioner is an important position in Pakistan's bureaucratic setup. He heads the entire division, and for that matter, he was heading the Ravensbrück division, and the allegations were so serious that everybody thought that maybe something really happened. And then all of a sudden, he disappears and comes back and records a statement that the Election Commission of Pakistan alleging that, or rather saying that, or rather confessing that it was part of a conspiracy, what he said at the recent conference. I think it mustn't be put under the carpet, should be investigated, probed at an appropriate level, so that everything is clarified. Mahrukh.
Fair enough. Before I go to Niaz Saab,
Mahrukh, this is a continuation of the policy of one of the political parties which has just lost the election. Yesterday I was looking at, there was a message someone shared with me. There's a constituency NA 49. Over there they were claiming that these are our Form 45s and this is the official result. And some of the Form 45s were from 2018.
Okay.
So this is very common for them, and this is part of the same, and I don't think we should take this serious
creation of
because
perception. Again, I
exactly.
want to, the point is that Niaz Sahib, we talk about the fact that, of course, social media is important. We talk about the fact that engaging with the youth is important. We talk about the fact that it's a changed kind of political climate, and for people, for political parties to encash that kind of connection with the youth. All of those things are important, but also, creating a false perception based on, for any political party, based on, maybe 20% truth and 80% of inaccuracy, or 40 of this and 80 of this. Overall, it's quite problematic for what it contributes to the political culture and to the polarization. And now, of course, we are also hearing about this letter, to be written to the IMF on investigation and what it means for our, in terms of the economic security of Pakistan. So all of those things are also, it's going to be difficult to be able to get out of this, because this will have lasting effects, no?
Well, I mean, it's true that, PTI does have this habit of crying wolf, and that's what they did in 2013. But then at that time, their allegations were very wild and vague and easy to disprove. Now the thing is, it's slightly different. They have a very specific demand. Form 45 versus Form 47. Pakistan may not have even heard of what a Form 45 is, but now everybody knows. So it's something that can be fixed very easily. If they're telling lies, they have uploaded all the forms on, social media, online. So if they're false, then
it's what Daniyal here is saying. He's saying that it's about the some of them are the forms. If you're talking about 80% of the population, who is going to open that link and look at those forms? And who is going to check?
Those forms. PMLN should do the same. They should, upload the authentic ones, so that, and then one or two big media groups or civil society groups should go through them and, just set the record right until, the time comes when the courts start looking at it, so that if those forms are false, then everybody knows, and, there isn't this huge question mark of credibility. So I think social media and the media groups and civil society groups also have a role to play. PMLN has a role to play. They should also upload their forms, so that, the truth is before the people. This is a specific demand which can be very easily disproved if it is false. And if it can be disproved, then, we will have political stability. All, these question marks will disappear.
Before this, Mahrukh, I really like chronologically the way you explained, with the way you discussed first the commissioner issue and then the IMF issue. Basically, and now what Niaz Sahib is saying, see, throughout Pakistan's political history, I guess maybe it's the same case everywhere, especially in third world countries, whenever a person or a political party loses the election, to keep their perception alive within at least their workers or their supporters, they do this. This is very common. And it's very difficult, I think, to go into each and every constituency. But if they blame the Nawaz Sharif or PMLN to be the beneficiary, or if there was any sort of rigging, then why would their senior leadership lose? So I don't agree that the election was in any way rigged, but like you said, it's their agenda, it's part of their agenda. Now they want to put international pressure. Now they're contacting IMF. I don't know what docket they're going to do. So Liaquat Chattha was part of the same game, and he worked on very key positions during Usman Buzdar's time, and that whole nexus you can see. And he's claiming that he even met a senior leader from the PTI a few days ago. So as far as I agree with the Jadoon Sahab that the commissioner is a very important person, but when it comes to the election, the ROs, most of them were the ADCGs or ADCRs. They were directly, as far as the election was concerned, they were reporting to the ECP and following their directions. And as far as that role was concerned, the commissioner had no role within the election or signing of any sort of results. So I don't think he had that relevance in the election. If he blamed of pre-poll rigging, that would have had a lot more authenticity. His blame would have had. But on the polling day, he was irrelevant.
Before I close, I mean, there's very little time left, but I want to get Javed Saab's opinion on this. Javed Saab, what do you feel, what is your opinion about this IMF related issue now, that, the letter that the one particular political party claims should be written to the IMF to investigate these allegations? Isn't this isn't this using your political whatever is good for the country, it's throwing that, it's putting that second to what perhaps your political gain is, or what you hope to gain from for your political party, and putting that over what has to be important for the country as a whole.
Absolutely, Mahrukh, I agree with you. It is a very unwise kind of a decision on part of the former chairman of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, because it is Pakistan. It is not PMLN or Pakistan People's Party. They may have differences with these political parties, but you can't put the country at the risk, because Pakistan does lead a new program in April, $6 billion program, because you really can't unlock the external finances unless you enter into an agreement with the IMF. It is the country, it is the state of Pakistan which needs IMF program. And I think approaching any international institution, and particularly IMF, is a very, very unwise decision on part of the former chairman of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. I think he should realize he was the Prime Minister of the country.
Does this not take us to the audio that surfaced earlier on by a former minister of the same cabinet, and him talking on the phone? The authenticity of the audio, of course, we still don't know, but the question is, it raises the same kind of issues, does it not? I mean, throwing your IMF program under the bus, or for short-term political gain, is something that's extremely dangerous.
It is absolutely, I agree with you, Mahrukh. It is dangerous because if there's any complexity on part of the IMF, which I believe IMF is not the international body which looks into the fairness or transparency of the general elections in Pakistan. They have got nothing to do with that. But highlighting the issue at the international level is only putting the country on the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. And I think that primarily they should be focusing within the country. They can utilize all the platforms available to them.
That are available, the legal remedies that are available at this time, those should be utilized. And then of course we will know what the situation is overall. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have. Thank you so much for being with us. Daniyal Sheikh, thank you for joining us. Dr. Niaz Murtaza, thank you for your time. Javed Jadoon Saab, thank you for being with us. We talked about, of course, the Punjab Assembly today, the oath-taking ceremony, which will of course, the oath taking as CM Punjab that will follow as far as Maryum Nawaz is concerned, and how Punjab will look under her guidance, what are her main goals, what does she plan to, how does she plan to steer Punjab. Of course, we will know in the next couple of weeks. Of course, also we talk about the allegations, the detractions by the former Commissioner Rawalpindi, and what that indicates about what's wrong with our political culture, the way that these allegations are picked up, the way that they're bandied around, and of course also the recent statement as far as IMF is concerned, and whether short-term political gain is necessarily the way forward for any political party and their leadership. And of course throwing the IMF program under the bus, or putting the country second, is going to lead to long-term benefit for any political party. All of that today we discussed on Perspective. Thank you so much for being with us today.